Look, there it is. See, she's ready to go. She's got up. She's got.
I need to get this fuel in me.
She's got her rice-free sushi in front of her.
Want to fight about it?
Fight.
Want to fight about it?
What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Fox and Steve Rychel. We are back with you, and we have got a strong one for you today ahead of the fights on April 12th. Steve, you went out, you got another banger for us. We've been talking a little bit pre-show, and I'm telling you, she's a firecracker. I like this one. She's got some strong opinions.
Jessica's special. I've been friends with her for some time through the amateurs, Titan FC, BKFC, Bellator in between. Hopefully we get to hear news that she's going to have a PFL Bellator fight. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But she's got a BKFC fight coming up, early next month. Let's hear what Jessica's got going on.
I'm ready. Everybody, you've been watching her. She's been doing this thing for a long, long time. Welcome in, if you would, Jessica Black Widow Borga. There she is. What's going on? We can all laugh about it because we've already been talking for a bit. But look, MMA, we've got Valor, we've got, you've been into all the different disciplines. I think there's even some WWE in there. So the thing everybody wants to know, of course, is how many tattoos exactly do you have?
I lost track. I lost track at like 50, I think. So now I'm just trying to fill it in like a coloring book.
And if you want to see all those tattoos, head over to her Instagram and you'll see every single one, because you're not afraid to show them off. And I kind of want to start there. We kind of embrace women in MMA. It's great to have you on. To kind of help back that up. But with women in MMA, there's a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different feelings in it. How do you feel your place is as a woman in MMA? How do you feel you're perceived, and where do you want it to go?
Honestly, I think that the sport is growing super fast, and I love that for the women. We kind of already talked about it a little bit, but I think that specifically in this sport, I know there's like a lot of controversy of women saying like, oh, I don't like them coming after me for, degrading me or whatever, or using me as like a sex symbol. Honestly, if people don't realize that sex and violence go together, that's their problem. Because if you're a woman in the sport and you're a decent looking woman and you can fight, you're gonna be viewed that way. I mean, it's just the concept of it all together. If you guys don't realize that when you are getting started, then that's on you.
And I love the fact that because I don't think you overdo it. You embrace your sexiness. You're not afraid to show what you've worked so hard for on Instagram, but you don't overdo it or anything like that. In my opinion, I love the sex and violence comment. You have children. You've got a couple teenage boys. There's a girl in the mix. How do you take that mentality and transfer that to them?
I preach to them all the time about what actually makes you a good person. People have gotten so far away from what morals actually are, no lying, cheating, stealing, things that actually make you a bad person, and they focus too much on the opinions of others and just, oh, you can't do this because society says that you can't do that. If it's not hurting anyone, it's not breaking the law, you let people do whatever the hell makes them happy and stop worrying about other people. That would probably make the world a better place.
Yeah.
So I preach to my kids all the time. If you're doing something, and it makes you happy, never care about what other people think, because it doesn't matter. You'll be way happier if you never worry about that.
I think it's such a strong lesson. I'd say the same thing to my kids. So I think bravo for that. That's awesome. MMA, again, we talked about all the different things you've done leading up to it. Why BKFC? Why now?
Well, I love, so my first BKFC honestly made me like, I felt right at home. It was amazing. I'm not done with MMA because I'm definitely not going out on a decision loss. Fuck decisions. But anyway, the BKFC was like, I felt at home. That's where I felt like, man, I started with stupid bar brawling way back in the day. I knew that I could knock men out with my bare knuckle. Like, I loved going to bars just to fight. Stupidly, yes, I know it wasn't the best idea, but I had fun with it, and I kind of felt right back at home. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm really enjoying doing boxing.
How do you feel your MMA experience gives you an advantage in the BKFC world, having had done that?
Well, definitely BKFC. I would say the clinch. I can use that and utilize that, from MMA. So honestly, that is the only thing that I can really say that transfers over from MMA with BKFC, and a lot of the other bare knuckle promotions don't allow the clinch. So I really enjoy that, usually moving them around.
You're not the first person to say that, so it's actually a really good answer, in my opinion. What did it feel like the first time? Because usually, I mean, you're used to gloves. I mean, you've been in bar fights, so maybe it isn't a first time for you. But I was going to ask what it felt like the first time you had bare knuckles come up against your head, but you felt this before, apparently.
Oh yeah. I honestly, I knew I could take it because I would just go to bars to fight. So it was bare knuckle, so like, I knew how it felt. I knew what I was capable of, and I just felt right at home. So it doesn't faze me at all. You don't feel it when you're in the fight. You just, I'm in there to hurt somebody. I love the brutality and the violence of BKFC. I love it.
Can you give us one of these bar fight stories?
Sure. My favorite one, I was at a bar for my friend's birthday, and it was a friend of hers that was there with her boyfriend, and he got drunk and hit her out in the parking lot. Somebody came and told me. I go out there and I shove him. I said, well, fight a girl that'll fight you like a man, you little bitch. He comes at me, and I hit him one time, and he went down. He was out. His friend jumped on top of him, laughing at him. He was drunk and stupid. He's like, you just got knocked out by a girl in heels and, a mini skirt. It was funny. That's probably my favorite one.
Do you feel
East Coast girls are different than West Coast girls? That's all I gotta say.
See, I'm from the West Coast, so I can't jump on your statement there.
And not to say there ain't some badass females out in the West Coast, but I'm just saying I might have some area bias, but I just think the fighters on the East Coast more.
You are from Philly, so I think maybe a little
different mentality and different. There's a different dog in them type of women.
How do you feel women, because this has actually come up on the show a couple times, how do you feel women compared to men? The general statement is that men are stronger than women. So if you put it in a pound for pound situation, I assume you probably spar with guys and train with men, and that probably helps up your game. Do you do that because they are stronger, number one? And do you feel that statement is accurate, that men are stronger than women?
I mean, most of the time, yes, I would say men are stronger than women, but there are the weird women like me. I have always been naturally strong, like my entire life. I've gotten lucky with that. I've been always super strong. So there are men that are not stronger than me, but most of the time, yes, they are. So them using their strength against us makes our technique better. So in the MMA world, pound for pound, I mean, I beat up guys all the time. So I think it's a fair game. You're in a chess match at this point in time. So your strength doesn't always work. Technique with strength, yes. But I mean, that could be a tit for tat for, the men and women. So I don't think it's always an advantage, but.
No, I mean, I love to hear you say that as a former instructor, not at the pro level or anything, but, training men and women in MMA. It seemed like women were a little more on their technique better. And honestly, the whole point of MMA is to be able to use technique to offset whatever strength advantage, disadvantage there may be there. So I think maybe that's why women do pick it up a little bit better, because they're already at a disadvantage, or at least they feel they're at a disadvantage.
And most of the time, we don't have many girls in the gyms. You know, there's not as many as there are guys. So we're usually training with only guys. So it's typical for us to be just training with men all the time. We aren't taken seriously a lot of the time, honestly. If we try to teach class, we can be disrespected a lot quicker than the males. Yeah, absolutely.
That's interesting for you to say that, especially at your level, because I've always thought that when a female got up, that based on exactly what we talked about, that the ladies seem to take it more seriously because they already feel at a disadvantage. I feel like ladies, with that base concept of MMA to offset the strength advantage, I feel like that's who I want to listen to, because a successful female fighter has had to work harder than some of the males. And so for someone like yourself to be at your level, you've had a much, in my opinion, I would assume, harder battle to get to where you are. And so what you have to teach me, I definitely want to listen to. I don't know. That's interesting to hear you say that.
You're a level-headed male. A lot of them, they walk in with their egos. So, they're like, oh, I ain't listening to no freaking female. A lot of the time we get that more than anything. They don't care about the background. They don't care what they would have given up most of the time. A lot of them would have given up way before any of the adversity that I've had to deal with my entire career. So, I mean, it's bound to happen. It's gonna happen.
Maybe open class with just let's roll. We're gonna do it. Let's just roll. Throw in a quick quick reversal, quick arm bar, quick choke out. Like, okay, now you guys ready to listen to me, because I know what the hell I'm talking about. Steven, I know we have some MMA stuff. I see on the board. I see a few things.
It's been crazy so far early in 2024. I do got some stuff loaded up on the back end, but I do got some other stuff too. We had, commentary controversies. We're getting Daniel Cormier's getting run out of NCAA. You got Jamie Barner's upset with UFC commentator Laura Sanko for, I guess, basically being a female and him being in his ego for whatever reason.
So stupid.
Like I said, I think Jamie got his DM ignored. He's just up in his feelings.
Probably.
Now the other thing from this past weekend, did you happen to catch UFC this weekend?
I did not. No.
I guess you missed the fight of the night.
The fight of the night. Tell us about the fight.
Andre Lima was gifted initially.
I did hear about, all over social media.
Yeah, it's all over. It's great. So what happened was Lima was bitten, and on top of the being bitten, he tattooed the bite onto his,
which is the dumbest thing. It's funny, but that is so dumb. You know how nasty a human bite is? If that shit gets infected, you're gonna lose your arm, dude.
And then you shove tattoo ink out and just shove that infection further into your skin.
Good idea. And it's
I know
right there.
I gotta ask you. It has to be the stupidest thing done inside the cage since Paul Daly, correct?
Yep.
And this is from someone with tattoos.
Infamous for his stupidity, punching Kostic after the bell and all that. This is beyond that level.
Yeah, his thought process, at that level, you should never even thought about biting someone. I don't understand it.
And watching the fight, you weren't in this position where he was raining down punches and you were about to be stopped or something. That would made sense. It was just this random position. I'm like, did something happen that we don't know about? What's going on here?
I don't get the biting. I don't understand it. I can see
maybe
in the
he wanted
street
to be
fight.
like Mike Tyson. I don't know.
But Mike had a reason. Mike was getting headbutted, and the referee's just sitting there. Keep fighting. What do you mean, keep fighting? He's punching me in the head. I see three of you doing what he was supposed to do. Referee was like, just keep fighting. Okay, I'm gonna keep fighting the way I know how to fight. Street fighting rules. On that, you already had Chael basically breaking down his videos saying Mike's putting up fake videos and everything like that. Are you interested in this thing at all, or do you just feel like it's a spectacle?
I think anything with Jake Paul is a friggin' spectacle, even though I will say that his boxing is good. I will say that he has gotten better with his boxing and he has improved and whatever, but he's still like, honestly, I'll give him mad props because he's a freaking genius when it comes to social media. Like the dude is like ridiculous genius. Like he has all the right tools.
Now,
but is it always a freaking show? Yeah. But
so
Mike,
now I'll say this: regardless of what happens after this, moving forward, if he does not fight actual boxers in and around his age or weight class, we can't take him seriously no more. Correct?
That is the one thing that I will say. He has not fought anyone that isn't like retired and old and like, or like just like, just not his prime. Like
Tommy Fury is the only other one. But again,
isn't that the genius of it though?
Tommy Fury fights 3 weight classes below him.
Yep. There's always something that's not like
that's what I'm saying.
He's got to prove himself at his age and level and like just everything. It's gotta be fair. Let's see what you do when it's fair.
Who are you taking in the fight?
I want Mike Tyson. I don't even care. I think like if he hits him just one time.
Did you see Mike's quote for his motivation for the fight yet?
Everybody's
basically he didn't sign it for money or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he said if you think I'm coming for the money, you're fucking stupid.
He's like, I'm not. I love because basically when he took the Roy Jones Jr. fight that it was a legacy fight because something that all the fans want to put it wasn't here. It wasn't in his heart. He wasn't there training Listen,
it is
mentality is half the battle. Mentality is half the battle. If Mike's already mentally beat Paul up here, I don't know.
Well, if that was Muhammad,
the idea of Jake Paul shocking the world might be a far cry, man.
I hope
the last thing to leave is power. Mike had.
I think he needs to be. Of it. Sometimes somebody needs to be humbled, and I think Mike has every tool to do it.
And no one liked George St. Pierre until after Matt Serra beat him, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying, no one liked George. No one liked him at all until Matt Serra knocked him out, stopped him. Then George was like, you know what? That's never gonna happen again.
And then he got his boxing game right.
Whole different mentality.
It honestly sometimes those losses really teach you more than anything of a win will. So sometimes people need it. It has lit a fire under my ass multiple times. So
I was gonna ask, do you have a loss that was like your turning point? Do you have a fight? It doesn't have to be a loss. It could be a win. Do you have a fight that was like the turning point? Okay, now I need to get serious. Now I'm in this. Now I get it.
Yeah. I would say after the girl that I fought 3 rounds with a fractured nose and broke jaw, and I hit it from my corners. After that, I got cleared. As soon as I had that surgery, I got cleared, and I took a fight on 10 days notice with a champion boxer at Titan FC, and I won in the first round. Like after, like they were like, "Oh man, she just got cleared," and blah blah blah, and I'm like, "You have no idea what that does." And then I won my next one in Bellator in the first round too. That lit a fire in me. And then freaking COVID shut everything down for 3 years, and I come back and lose 2 decision losses.
Don't get me started about COVID.
You openly said you're not done with MMA. I'm just curious, which way is it going? Is it going to those if the next one was is going to be a PFL, or is it going to be somewhere else?
I want the biggest promotion. I like to challenge myself with the people that's up at the top. So yeah, that would definitely be the option.
How many BKFC fights before
or Game Bread?
There you go. There you go.
How many BKFC fights? How many BKFC fights until you want your shot at the title? Realistically, I mean, I know you want it tomorrow, but
yeah, right.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, first, honestly, BKFC has to get actually my division, so the 145 division. But as soon as that happens, I want to claim it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to claim it. I want to be the 145 champ.
Let's find out what the plan is on that, Steven.
Is the long wait between fights irritating too? Like you obviously said you hope they get the division going and things of that nature, but You know, I mean, obviously, when you're growing, it's part of growing pains and things of that nature. But is it, as a fighter, is it like mentally drawing?
It is insane because I'm fighting all the time to stay like I'm training, like I'm in fight camp all the time. I am trying to stay ready all the time. I want to fight as consistently as I can. It is the most infuriating thing sitting around waiting and then being promised like, oh, we're gonna have this for you. So I'm prepping for it. Like last year, I had 2 things promised and it was supposed to be July and then it got moved back to September and then nothing. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Just waiting around for something and then turning down other things because you're waiting for this one. And like, even though the other things didn't even have an opponent. So it's nothing. There's been like just waiting around. It's ridiculous. I don't get it.
Because I'm not going to say people don't realize people are knowledgeable on what it takes to train. When you guys talk about being in fight camp, we're knowledgeable. If you haven't done it, you really have no idea. And I'm not going to say that I've done it to the level that you do it and that you're currently doing it right now. I don't think people really understand what that is.
People have no idea. And then they think that we have off season like other sports. There's no such thing as off season.
6 weeks of hell,
Yeah,
3 times a day.
Yeah.
It's 6 weeks of hell 3 times a day. I repeat that.
Take all your favorite foods, throw them out the table. Take everything you want to do, throw it out the table.
No,
Take all your free time, throw it off the table. Like,
yep. And then you have to be like, so when you have kids and when you have to still be a mom while you're fighting, everything, the weight cut, the aggression, the tiredness, you have to still be there as a mom. So it's taxing. People have no idea. Behind the scenes is way worse than the fight itself ever.
Before we get, start to wrap this up, talk to me about the balance. I hadn't really thought about that until you brought it up. Talk to me about the balance of being a fighter and a mom.
It is, gosh, man, it's hard to even explain because people don't understand. Being a fighter, most of the time they're like, why would you even do that? And you can't explain it to them besides the passion for it. So I honestly, you balance it as well as you can. I strive well under chaos. I've been in chaos my entire life. So I do very well with everything just being crazy and go, go, go. And that's why I can juggle so many things. I always feel guilty about like missing a game because I'm in training or something like that. That's always going to be part of it. But if you tell the kids that, it's sometimes you have to sacrifice things for your end goal, they usually understand it. And then you're showing them, what you have to do to be able to achieve your goals. And it's not always pleasurable. It's not always, easy. But they understand that, and maybe good example.
I like to do a thing called Fox's Fast Five. Basically, I pick 5 questions, pretty rando questions off the hip. I'm going to shoot them to you. You're going to shoot the answers back as quickly as you can, and we're going to don't worry. It's all a good time. Question number 1. We'll start with the food. What is your favorite cheap food?
Sushi.
That's not really a cheat food.
Yeah,
I don't know if that counts. Does that count, Steven? Steven Ruling? Does that count as a cheat food?
If not, then pasta.
It's not a cheat food.
Pasta.
But listen, you got your favorite food. You got your favorite food. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised it's not working.
I just don't usually eat rice.
She's on the low end of gluttonous things.
Yeah, the right. Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's good for you. I don't know.
I don't ever eat bad. So like my cheat meals are like I'll have a steak or I'll eat rice sometimes, but brown rice in my sushi.
All right, this question's a fail. No, I love sushi. It's great. It's good. I just don't know what qualifies as cheap food.
I do love chips.
Yes, there you go. Chips. Awesome. Those are good. Chips. Yes. What kind of chips? What are your chips?
Is it Doritos? Is it regular potato?
Yes.
Or Cheetos. Cheetos. I love Cheetos.
Doritos and Cheetos. The O's. Anything with the O's. Cheesy O's. If your children wanted to fight, would you let them?
Yes. I'll let them do anything they want. I'll support them doing anything.
sub question. This is not question 2. This is part B of question 2. Since you would let them fight, would you train them? And what I mean by train them is, would you go hard?
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually probably too hard on my kids because they actually do train jiu-jitsu. So they don't like me coaching them.
Mom knocked me out. Mom choked me out last week.
Yeah, like I guess I'm too mean. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, you never like your parents teaching you stuff.
You're from Florida. If you know, when you get the big check and you get to live anywhere you want, where is it going to be?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'd probably still live here, to be honest with you.
Where's the second home?
Is it somewhere
My
warm
husband's
or
at Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
A beach somewhere. I would be at a freaking beach somewhere, like Fiji Islands or some shit.
That was actually question 4, beach or mountains. So I guess I'm gonna have to come up with a better question 4.
Oh God, that's a hard one. Oh man, I'd pick the mountains over the beach.
The mountains over the beach?
Yeah, honestly, I would, but I love the beach, man. I don't know. That's a hard one.
It is.
I love anything outdoors. I've always wanted a house on the beach, so I guess I would have to pick beach.
You have to pick beach. You have to. You can't have a house on the beach in the mountains.
She's
So you have to-
I can have one in both areas. How about that?
there you go. You got 3 houses.
Now she just
She had her
fixed
own
her
thing.
other question.
That's it. 100%. 100%. I was gonna ask if you're a cat or a dog for cats or dogs, but clearly you have dogs. Tell me about your dogs.
I do have dogs and cats actually, but I
yeah.
have like a cat-like personality. I like to be like messed with sometimes, but then when I don't, like fuck off. Like so, I have kind of like a cat-like personality. But I love dogs. I'm a dog person 100%. I have 3 of them, and they're all mutts. One's a boxer mix, one's a live mix, and one's a stupid-ass chihuahua. That's my son's dog. He's not the most
You gotta
loved.
tell him to get a real dog, like a pit bull or something.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he picked his other dog. Played chicken with a train and lost, and he got lost. Yeah, he ran out. She ran out and just stood in front of it. It's a long story, but the dog died, obviously. But then he picked out another dog, and it's like a reincarnation of his other one, and that dog was dumb, and they're both dumb.
But you said it's a Chihuahua, though, right?
It's like a Chihuahua cur mix or something.
Well, that fits under a train, so we won't have the problem again.
That's what he said.
The train will go right over him.
True. True.
Thinking, Mom. Thinking.
I'm like.
Question 5. What's your anniversary?
With my husband?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like MMA anniversary. It's New Year's Eve. We made it super easy. Super easy.
Favorite question. That's my favorite
That's
question.
like a cheat code for him.
And the time we got together was sometime in like October, but we made it Halloween. So like our actual anniversary, we just made it super easy. It is like, Halloween. And then our marriage date was New Year's Eve. You never can forget it. If you forget it, then there's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I like to ask that question, because I'd probably get it wrong every time. It's probably happened. Thanks to Steve's big brain over there. He's a big brain guy. We came up with what we call the guest spotlight, and we basically let you wrap up your own interview. So it's your chance to you can talk about your sponsors. You can tell us a bedtime story. Just sit there and like awkwardly stare at the camera for a minute. It's however you want to do it. This is the guest spotlight with Jessica Black Widow Borga.
Well, I do want to I cannot wait for this new sponsor. I can't announce yet, but I'm really excited about this new sponsor. But I do have also another new sponsor that I want to give a shout out to, Secrets Resort and Spa. They came on. They're amazing. They go with my eye candy sponsors. So all my sponsors, I just posted all of them. Hayabusa, the Chiropractic Center of Lakeland, Kelly Somerville Photography, B&L Tires, Lovering Auto Sales. Yeah, Dad's Executive Protection, that was in there too. Yeah, First in Nutrition. He's helping me. What is 12 Bar Grill? I should have had a printout and I apologize for that. But I just came home from training, so.
I was just gonna say she just got over from training and she just rifled off like all her sponsors. Like, I'm actually impressed. Like, I've been impressed, but I mean that was impressive to hit all those.
I have so many people that have jumped on, especially with this year. This year seems like it's going to be so good, and I'm really excited about what all the stuff that I have planned and the new sponsors that are coming on board, and just fighting consistently. Hopefully this year would be great.
What's the Instagram handle?
Black Widow Borga. Almost all of my social media is Black Widow Borga. I'm probably the most active on my Facebook. Facebook is Jessica Borga, and it's the only one that's verified that I use mainly. So all that's verified is my main accounts, and TikTok, Twitter, or X now, whatever.
Whatever.
That's
like my least favorite one of all. She's got to fight. She's got to knock some lights out on April 12th, BKFC fight night. There she is. Are you ready? I mean, I know you're ready. Like, do you know this opponent? Is there enough out there on her that you know?
Yeah,
her?
she's a game opponent. She's actually kind of has my style. She comes in and she's not afraid to get hit. I mean, she does usually fight at 35 and she's coming up to 45. So I'm going to show her some 45 power. But other than that, I'm going to introduce her to the 45 division.
There it is. That's what I like that. We're going to introduce you. Welcome to 45. I love it.
She's a game opponent. She's got fights in Bellator and everything. So she's gonna bring it, and I love that. I want them to bring it. I want them to challenge me a little. I don't want it too easy.
I love to hear the mutual respect. That's what I like, because it's all trash, and it's all you got to get fired up for it. But at the end of the day, you're all fighters, and it's
I've never been a trash talker. I respect anyone that gets in that cage because I know how hard it is. So I respect every opponent that goes against me, and I respect them more if they can take a hit, because I'm going to bring it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. You guys want to see it, go check out BKFC Fight Night, April 12th. I'll be watching. Steve will be watching. I can't wait to see it all go down in the 145 division. We're going to let you get in the kitchen. We appreciate you spending a little extra time with us this evening. Look, there it is. See, she's ready to go. She's got up. She's got
I need to get this fuel in me.
She's got her rice-free sushi in front of her. She's ready to go.
Pretty much the sushi without the rice, avocado chicken.
Thanks everyone for joining us as always. Jessica, thank you for taking some time with us, especially on a training night as you prepare for the fight to get in. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I absolutely mean that. For Steven, for Jessica, and myself, Chris Fox, thanks for tuning in to Want to Fight About It every Thursday night at 9 p.m. on That Sports Podcast channel. We'll see you guys out there. Be safe, everybody.